Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel. Well, it turns out some of the people who voted for Joe Biden, that record-breaking 94 million, are not necessarily so crazy about some of the actions he's taken. Let's take a look. This is an article by Bari Weiss. She is the young lady that worked for Wall Street Journal for a while, then worked for the New York Times for a while, and then wrote a really scathing piece about how the New York Times was the manipulative plaything toy of Twitter when she left. And she's like, I'm not even a righty, I'm a center left, and I don't feel safe in my workspace. So she quit and caused a giant ruckus. Anyways, that's her. All right, it's done. What comes next, she asked. Let's find out what she thinks about it. It's done. Hallelujah. Time to list those hats on Poshmark. I don't even know what that is. Must be a lefty thing. If I were still at a newspaper, because remember, she quit, I'd be compelled to write something about the inauguration. A riff about how it's morning again in America. The powerful symbolism of Eugene Goodman, the heroic police officer who faced down the rioters. At least she didn't say insurrectionist. Escorting the vice president. Lil Wayne's pardon. But I am no longer at a newspaper. That's because my politics. Center left on some issues, center right on others. A centrism that most Americans still occupy were unwelcome. Kind of cancel culturist, just a little, even though she canceled herself there. I see the ideological capture and inspirational transformation that occurred at the Times, as in New York Times, as a sign of what's to come these next 4 years, which leads me to the purpose of this particular document. Now listen closely to this, because wow, is this insightful. I voted for Joe Biden. I think that he is past his prime. I also think he is an eminently decent and kind man. Well, you're allowed to think that, but the evidence argues against it. What evidence is that? Well, I'll submit it right now. Do you recall? Probably not, unless you're a right-wing pursuer, because the left wing never covered it, that Tara Reade, the woman who accused him of doing adult behaviors unwelcomed, and that's when we discovered even more so that at Me Too was so over, moving on, shut your pie hole, don't you even dare accuse somebody on the left, exactly like we were under Bill Clinton. Hello, 360, not 180, 360. And it's all right, and we're doing fine. We're going to get right back where we started from. All right, so there they are. Let's see. And what about all that child hair sniffing thing? And the list goes on. So she's welcome to her opinion that he's an eminently decent and kind man. Some of us find the evidence arguing the other direction. The fact that his decency seems positively refreshing is a tragic sign of where we are. I agree fully, but probably not for the reasons she suggests. But it does, and I welcome it. I've said it many times, but I will say it here again. Trump was a malignant narcissist. Excuse me, everybody in the room, please raise your hand if you can name a single president that wasn't a malignant narcissist. Oh, there's no hands up. Bummer. Okay. Seeing that did not require a psychology degree. Yeah, it didn't. Either for you guys. Because none of you, well, I don't know, some of you might have psychology degrees. Not that it does you any good. Just saying. Let's see. He coarsened everything and everyone he touched. Really? Did he touch them? Because we've got video of creepy Uncle Joe touching people. No. Let's be literal here for a minute. We have the videos of creepy Uncle Joe touching people. And you can look at the reactions of the girls and the women and how he coarsened everything that he actually touched, not metaphorically. He trashed all of our guardrails. Yeah, that was on purpose. That's what he was sent there to do. Only you Washington folk are upset by that. He hastened our undoing. Not possible. Sorry. Not possible. You want to talk about undoing? And she does. Here it comes. But he was not the sole author of it. He was elected because we had already come undone. Well, see, she just backtracks on her own. I guess that's why I don't feel the same kind of elation, even liberation. That's how can you feel liberation unless you work for Keystone XL pipeline or fracking or on the border wall? Because those people were all liberated from their jobs on day one, thanks to the new president, who's the job destroyer in chief. Job destroyer and chief. You go, Hollow Man. That's so many on my Instagram feed seem to feel. I wonder why. Donning aviators in honor of the 46th president, and Converse for Kamala. Should we just vomit now or wait till later? No, let's vomit now. Yes, we have the first. Get ready for the check boxes. Here we go. African American, check. Asian American, check. Let's see. First woman, check, as vice president. Got to get those check boxes out if you're on the left. Notice not qualified was anywhere on that list. Dang. This is the difference between the left and the right. All right, let's see. We continue on. Let's see. They are a love match. See, here's the. I'm going to skip all the vomitous stuff that the press said. The truth is that Joe Biden is a fig leaf. He's a fig leaf for deep problems that roil our country. Okay, I understand that breathing a sigh of relief. I did. But did Joe Biden presidency will require a different kind of attentiveness. The maladies of the Trump era were painfully obvious. Yeah, the maladies actually belonged to the press reporting that were completely, routinely filled with lies. Russia for 2.5 years? Yeah, don't think so. Sometimes dangerous and often clownish. Yes, Jim Acosta. There's your clown, right there. QAnon, let's see, QAnon, nobody even knew who QAnon was until they started getting promoted in the regular press. I still don't know who they are, I still don't care. It's not exactly subtle. Leaving aside Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, Trumpian forces don't hold much power in American life. Oh, you wait, young Jedi, you just wait. But the fringe ideologues on the left are savvy, smart, and organized. Are they smart? I guess it's a different kind of smart. With purchase at every level of American culture and politics. We don't call that smart where I come from. We call that slithery and slimy. Consider the fact that Hillary Clinton recorded more of the Russia. Even she's like, really? That is the play after 4 years? Why not? If the race card's still working, why wouldn't the Russia card work? You know, some cards just never fail to get the desired result. The group that fell for Russiagate, yeah. Anyways, she goes on to point out that all of the stuff that's hideous and going on. Will the Biden administration make the case that America is good? That's not sarcastic or rhetorical, and it's not a question of what's in Joseph R. Biden's heart, because we know what's in his head. Hello. I mean, will his administration embrace the new understanding of America that shot through the streets this summer and issues forth daily from months of our elites? The View goes like this. America was born for the purpose of upholding white supremacy, and it remains irredeemably racist. Our founders were not primarily political geniuses, but slaveholders who wanted to find a way to hoard their property. And while the rioters may have gotten a little out of hand, they weren't wrong to target statues of men like Lincoln. And you know, we could list the other ones quite easily, like Ulysses S. Grant, and so many more. To take a stand against the teardown, to insist that America, for all its flaws, remains a source of hope on earth. To suggest that our founding date is 1776 and 1619 was to out yourself as the biggest troglodyte. That means cave dweller for all of you people in Rio Linda. So the deal is, no, we have the answer. 1776 commission was thrown away on day one, along with all those thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs. And it was stated that it was thrown out because it was just all made up history and they wanted to rewrite it. I'm going to make a video on that specifically. And so, yeah, no, that's gone. They picked 1619. So no, the Hate America First crowd is the crowd in charge of the country now. Top to bottom. Will neo-racism be normalized? Critical race theory. A few months ago, I spoke to a Trump administration official who confirmed that President wouldn't know what critical race theory was if it smacked him in the face. Oh, all those anonymous sources. Nevertheless, in September of 2020, Trump passed an executive order banning and training for federal agencies of federal contractors that relies on this ideology. Time magazine was far from alone in spinning critical race theory as an indispensable and widely accepted tool for properly understanding the state of the nation. And then she goes on to say that's not true. Now, as I pour through this article, you've got to remember the point of this whole video is she voted for him. She knew this was coming. This was not under the rug. Why would you do this to your own country? She knew he didn't like 1776 and he liked 1619 by the people he put around him, including the lady who's about to become president. He knew that critical race theory was going to go bye-bye on day one because he's the one that signed it. And again, nobody on the left and in the Democrat Party is shy on saying they want critical race theory, which is anything but critical other than of Whitey. And that's what I want you to remember as we do this video. This is all done from the point of view that she voted for him. And now she has concerns? Now? Will cancel culture become the culture? Well, they're trying to cancel Trump. Two banks have dropped him, and no social media will carry him. And he's the president of the freaking United States. Former now. So, of course it is. Why would you put these people in power knowing you don't like these things? Because Trump was bad. He gave us unemployment that was lower than anybody in recorded American history. And he gave us peace deals all over the Middle East. And he didn't get us into a single war. He was horrible. Oh, but he talked naughty. Did he talk naughty? You wait, because apparently she's ignoring all the stuff that she knows. Because she is ignoring it, because she does know it. Of all the things Trump has said, excuse me, Biden has said, you dog-faced pony soldier. You one-trick horse? Was that what it was? I don't know. He makes up all these old people things that don't exist. 1 in 5 small American businesses will not make it through the lockdowns. No. Not the pandemic. The lockdowns. Dave Portnoy from Barstool seems to be the only one to care about it. Yeah. And guess what? None of the Keystone XL pipeline people are going to make it. And the border wall constructionists, they're not going to make it. And all the people that ship the supplies there, they're not going to make it. And the people that work in fracking, they're not going to make it. You knew this. Is there a way to end our ongoing uncivil war? Yeah, somebody has to win. Somebody has to win. So there you go. So here she is coming out and just I voted for him proudly, and I hate everything he's doing. And we're supposed to respect you. Sorry, Bari, however you say your name. You chose poorly. And as The Last Crusade shows, when that line says, you chose poorly, and you see that man from Empire Strikes Back, and you watch him turn into an ancient piece of flesh and then turn to dust. Tell me that doesn't look like Joe Biden in that last segment before he turns to dust. One last thing, and that's this. The National Guard is going to keep 5,000 troops until March in D.C. So 75,000 troops and 2,000 active duty troops, so 27,000 troops. 7 foot high or more. Fences all around Washington, D.C. with steel barbed wire on the top. They call it razor wire, I've been told, too. And I just want you to think about this. I know inauguration was a while ago, but I want you to ponder this. In a free country that just had a free election, where the winner of more votes than anybody in history was being inaugurated, there were more military troops and walls guarding him and his government than any totalitarian dictatorship in the world. North Korean's leader doesn't have that kind of protection. You know, a totalitarian dictator where his people are starving to death. But in America, a free country with a free and open and fair election, with a guy who wins 94 million votes, more than anybody ever in history. And yet he felt the need, and still feels the need going forward, to be protected more than Kim Jong-un. That's strange. It's never happened in a free country in the modern world, and maybe that's because the word free at that point stopped meaning what it used to mean, like so many other words are about to stop meaning what they used to mean. Because if there's one thing we all know, the only thing the left loves more than killing free speech is destroying the meaning of the speech that's being used. And with that, we say we need to choose wisely our leaders. Try not to vote for somebody you know is going to do the exact opposite of what you want on over a handful of items. You don't have to do that. Just keep that in mind. We'll see you in the future.